Justin Baldoni is firing back. Leaked text messages have been revealed after he files his $250 million lawsuit. In the ongoing legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, the director and actor of It Ends With Us has exposed alleged text messages between the two as part of his $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times. Baldoni is using these texts to dispute Lively's claim of harassment and retaliation. To get you up to speed, and in case you missed it, when Lively and Baldoni promoted their film It Ends With Us in August of 2024, rumors began swirling of an alleged feud between the pair. Fans noticed that Lively was promoting the movie with some of her co-stars, while Baldoni, who was a director on the film, did not join for interviews or press opportunities. At the same time, Lively received backlash from fans for how she addressed the DV theme of the movie. She made light of it all, wearing florals and constantly promoting her hair care line as well as her booze line, Betty Buzz. She even said in an interview, "Grab your girls, wear your florals, and head out to go see my new movie," promoting it like it was like a fun, lighthearted chick flick to go watch with your BFFs on a Saturday night. Justin, on the other hand, promoted it in a very dark manner that it actually was. He gave out resources that victims could use to get help, always provided a number anyone could use to call if they were in crisis, and he carried that tone with him for the entire duration of promoting the film. A lot of fans praised him and attacked Blake for the way the movie was being promoted. Fast forwarding now, Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department in December, accusing Baldoni of harassment and retaliation. Now, Lively claimed that after she raised concerns of harassment on the set of their film, Baldoni and his team retaliated against her, leaking unflattering press to try and ruin her professional reputation. Lively's complaint was first reported in the New York Times, which published an article titled "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine." The 4,000-word article contained contents from the Civil Rights Department complaint, which typically remain confidential. In the wake of the New York Times article and Lively's complaint against Baldoni, he was actually dropped by the talent agency WME, which also represents Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds. Now, Lively received swift support across Hollywood, with even the Actors Union releasing a statement in support of her. Now, Baldoni is alleging that Lively created false harassment accusations so she could actually take control of the film, then set out on a campaign to reshape her public persona with salacious, headline-grabbing allegations. Baldoni's lawsuit states that Lively's allegations were to assert unilateral control over every aspect of the production, and that it was both strategic and manipulative. Now, simultaneously, her public image suffered as a result of a series of high-profile blunders, which she tried to deflect by blaming plaintiffs for the public's prying interest into the foibles of an A-list celebrity. Now, this is nothing but an excuse. Fame is a double-edged sword, but Lively's tactics here are unconscionable. The suit claims that the New York Times failed its journalistic integrity to vet Lively's allegations, noting that the paper relied almost entirely on Lively's unverified and self-serving narrative, lifting it nearly verbatim while disregarding an abundance of evidence that contradicted her claims and exposed her true motives. A spokesperson for the New York Times said that the publication plans to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. Baldoni's suit was filed by attorney Brian Friedman in Los Angeles Superior Court, and I should note that Brian is considered the street-fighting lawyer who's become Hollywood's Dark Knight. Celebrities such as Megyn Kelly, Bethany Frankel, Don Lemon, and more have actually hired Friedman in the past to fight their battles. He refers to himself as a pit bull and is known for a ruthlessness that's absolutely ferocious. He's good, and not like Better Call Saul or Elle Woods good. He's really good, like Atticus Finch or Andrew Beckett good. Google those top dogs after this. Anyway, Lively's complaint included screen captures of text messages and correspondence that Lively's team allegedly showed orchestrated attempts on the part of Baldoni's PR representative to hurt her reputation in the media as part of a social manipulation campaign. Baldoni's lawsuit contains pages upon pages of text messages that Friedman told CNN are proof that the text messages published in Lively's initial complaint were doctored and manipulated. He alleges in his complaint that the Times intentionally omitted texts which dispute Lively's narrative. The messages also show Lively's involvement in creative discussions about her character's wardrobe, with one exchange in particular revealing her own desire for more attractive attractive clothing. Baldoni's lawsuit claims that the New York Times reported a biased story, favoring Lively's side and ignoring evidence that contradicted her narrative. The outlet has, however, maintained that the reporting was accurate and thorough. The Gossip Girl star sued her co-star in an 8-page lawsuit citing multiple misconducts, including inappropriate comments and actions by him and producer Jamie Heath. Lively alleges that Baldoni and Heath reportedly and repeatedly entered her trailer uninvited, even during private moments, and that they touched others on set in a way that made her feel uncomfortable. Now, Justin denies the allegations in his lawsuit. In another text exchange, Justin's legal team appears to be contesting Blake Lively's claim that her intimate scenes were unscripted and unplanned. Justin's evidence allegedly shows that an intimacy coordinator was present on set, but Blake reportedly delayed meeting them until filming even began. Now, he further disputes Blake's claims about incidents, such as, him and Jamie entering the trailer, arguing that these, actions were not inappropriate. And according to Justin, Blake was at ease with their presence and even invited him to rehearse lines while she was feeding her child. He also clarified that an incident where Jamie allegedly saw Blake shirtless was misrepresented. She was actually covered, and Jamie had knocked and been invited in for a meeting. Baldoni's lawyer wrote, "Both Heath and Baldoni have children and are comfortable around feeding mothers, and Lively seemed equally comfortable. In fact, Baldoni's wife co-founded a company that makes a feeding garment for babies, a prototype that originated with his mother when he was a baby." And as revealed in a text message exchange between Baldoni and Lively, less than 2 weeks into filming, Lively invited Baldoni to her trailer to rehearse lines while she was producing milk. Now, Baldoni's suit offers a rebuttal to that specific claim, showcasing a text that appears to be from Lively to Baldoni that reads, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines." Both parties have filed lawsuits accusing each other of retaliation, and honestly, after Lively's complaint was filed, a snowball effect ensued, with both sides taking jabs at each other, raising questions as to how those private text messages were even acquired in the first place. A subsequent lawsuit filed by Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones, alleged that those text messages came from the phone of her former employee, Abel, Baldoni's current publicist, who was among the individuals Lively accused of orchestrating a smear campaign against her. So Baldoni, Heath, Abel, Nathan, and Wafer all denied Lively's original claims and asserted Lively was the one leaking negative press about Baldoni. Justin's pitbull lawyer Friedman said in a statement, "These claims are completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt and rehash a narrative in the media." Friedman said that Lively, her team, and the New York Times engaged in a vicious smear campaign, and in doing so, they predetermined the outcome of the story and aided and abetted their own devastating PR smear campaign designed to revitalize Lively's self-induced, floundering public image and counter the organic groundswell of criticism amongst the online public. Now, the irony is rich. He then finished his statement off by saying, "While their side embraces partial truths, we embrace the full truth and have all of this communication to back it." So on January 3rd, Justin's legal team announced they plan to release all of the text message communications between the two. Well, you know what? I really can't wait to see them. And what did my grandma always used to say? What's done in the dark, it must come to the light. So if Blake did manipulate or cherry pick those texts and what text to give to the New York Times, surely that will be exposed once all of the texts are revealed from Justin's legal team. It's so, unfortunate that a movie focused around DV that should have served as a safe space for victims has really now just become one big celebrity mess. And something about seeing the words, emoji and canceled in court documents just doesn't sit right with me. I know we're in 2025, but this almost feels surreal, right?
Do you remember how there was a weird energy between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni when their film It Ends With Us was released? Well, it turns out there was something going on, as Blake has just sued Justin, but Justin is hitting back. So what really happened? Well, fans pointed out that Justin was noticeably absent from joint press events for the movie when it first came out, and that there weren't really any premiere photos of him and Blake together. According to a source who spoke to Us Weekly at the time, there were two camps on the film, Team Blake and Team Justin. This creative struggle set the tone for the negative experience behind the scenes and grew into them not speaking anymore. Now, this made sense as Justin only appeared on the red carpet solo and side by side with his wife Emily and other friends and family, but never with Blake or other co-stars. Now, unnamed sources told The Hollywood Reporter that there was a fracture among the filmmakers in post-production, and that Blake, who was a producer on the film, had commissioned her own cut of the film from editor Shane Reed, who was the editor on her husband Ryan Reynolds' film Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, everyone on the internet then pretty much switched on Blake, calling her the problem and digging up things that made the star look bad. A journalist stepped forward to talk about how uncomfortable they were interviewing Blake in 2016. Norwegian interviewer Kirsty Flaw, who goes by Curtsy, uploaded her 2016 interview with Blake that was so uncomfortable it made her want to quit her journalism career. At the time of the interview, Blake had announced her pregnancy at the Met Gala that May, but appeared to take offense when Curtsy starts the interview by congratulating her on her little bump. "Congrats on your little bump," Blake mockingly retorts to Curtsy, who visibly isn't pregnant, and later on in the interview, Blake and her co-star seem to just ignore Curtsy altogether. It's really awkward. Now, Blake had also been blasted as tone deaf and shallow after she hosted an interview with her It Ends With Us co-stars and failed to discuss the serious message behind the movie. Blake sat down with fellow cast members Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer, as well as author Colleen Hoover, and many people were left unamused by the lighthearted nature of their conversation. Now, the four women giggled together as they discussed everything from their dream job to their zodiac signs, but there was no mention of DV during their chat. And social media users were quick to slam them, particularly Blake, who hosted the interview, for partaking in the breezy questionnaire given the serious nature of the film and for failing to speak about the topic. Now, everyone was blasting Blake for the way she promoted the movie, and there were many viral posts about the star, exposing her as a mean girl in Hollywood. Now, everyone just seemed to be over her, but at the end of December though, things heated up as Blake filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department on December 20th. Then she filed a lawsuit in New York federal court, which was brought against Justin Baldoni, as well as the film's production company, Wayfarer Studios, its CEO, Jamie Heath, Baldoni's publicist, Jennifer Abel, and crisis communications representative, Melissa Nathan. Now, Blake is alleging that Justin caused her to suffer severe emotional distress and pain, humiliation, embarrassment, belittlement, frustration, and mental anguish, in addition to lost wages. She then claimed that Justin improvised unwanted kissing, Justin called her personal trainer behind her back, Jamie showed inappropriate videos of his wife on set, and various other issues while on set. Now, Blake's husband Ryan Reynolds was present at these meetings to back her up, as Blake claimed she made a list of demands she wanted Justin and Jamie to meet before she resumed filming, which claimed that Justin should not make inquiries about her weight and make no further mention of her father, who had passed. Now, in the lawsuit, Blake claims that Justin hired a crisis PR team to smear her in retaliation for her raising the issues. And it honestly appears that way, to be honest, and more proof of that came true as on December 22nd, the New York Times released an article about all of this. Private messages obtained by the New York Times appear to show intentional attempt to bury Blake. "You know, we can bury anyone," Justin's PR Nathan is alleged to have said, per the New York Times. Justin is said to have sent examples of a viral social media thread accusing another celebrity of bullying, writing, "This is what we would need," the Times alleged. Miss Nathan soon floated proposals to hire contractors to dominate social media through full social account takedowns by starting threads of theories and generally working to change the narrative. "All of this will most importantly be untraceable," she wrote. But Justin's lawyer said that he had hired a crisis manager due to multiple demands and threats he alleged Blake made, including threatening to not show up on set, threatening to not promote the film, ultimately leading to the demise during release if her demands were not met. Now, the same day this article came out, Justin was dropped by his talent agency, and many celebrities were speaking out in support of Blake. Colleen Hoover, who refused to do press with Baldoni, posted to Instagram after Blake first made her allegations to call her nothing but honest, kind, supportive, and patient. America Ferrera, Alexis Bledel, and Amber Tamblyn, who starred alongside Blake in her 2005 breakout role in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, slammed the vindictive effort and sued to discredit her voice, And Amber Heard said she had seen similar social media campaigns firsthand and up close, calling it horrifying and destructive. Actresses Kate Beckinsale and Abigail Breslin shared their own stories of harassment and retaliation in the wake of Blake's lawsuit, and director Paul Feig posted that Blake did not deserve any of the smear campaign. Another one of Blake's It Ends With Us co-stars, Brandon Slynar, posted a link to the initial New York Times story, and Jenny Slate, another co-star in the film, said she stands by her loyal friend. Amy Schumer posted a story on Instagram that said, "I believe Blake," and Sony Pictures, the distributor of the movie, also showed support for the actress. "We have previously expressed our support for Blake in connection with her work on the film. We fully and firmly reiterate that support today. Further, we strongly condemn any reputational attacks on her. Any such attacks have no place in our business or in civil society," it said. But then, Justin sued the New York Times for $250 million and claimed that Ryan Reynolds aggressively berated him. Justin and 9 other plaintiffs, including publicists Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel, brought a $250 million lawsuit against the newspaper alleging libel and false light invasion of privacy. Now, the suit, which has been seen by The Independent, was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court and claims that the Times reporting cherry-picked and altered communications, stripped of necessary context, and deliberately spliced to mislead. Now, in the lawsuit, Justin and Jamie accused the New York Times of publishing a one-sided article based on Blake's complaint with the California Civil Rights Department. The suit alleged that the Times relied almost entirely on Lively's unverified and self-serving narrative, lifting it nearly verbatim while disregarding an abundance of evidence that contradicted her claims and exposed her true motives. But the Times did not care. Now, a spokesperson for the New York Times said, "Our story was meticulously and responsibly reported," and they said that the outlet had reviewed thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. Now, the lawsuit said the plaintiffs suffered damages that amount to at least $250 million. Now, specific lies have also been called out by Justin's team. Blake claimed that Justin invited her privacy by entering her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding. But Justin's legal team refuted the claim, referring to alleged texts by Blake that read, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work on our lines," to which the actor responded, "Copy, eating with the crew and we'll head that way." Now, it seems like Justin's team is trying to expose Blake for lying and are showing the proof that they have.
Starting off with increased time apart as Justin's career continues to flourish, and despite the current lawsuit he's involved in with not only Blake Lively but also the New York Times, it seems as though he may be spending a lot more time away from home, which of course could potentially put a huge strain on their relationship. Before I get into more red flags, let me give you a brief timeline of their relationship. Justin has always said he knew instantly that Emily was the one. In an October 2017 interview, he said, "One of the things I learned from my mom was trusting my intuition, something I wish more men would tap into. I had made the same mistake so many times searching for something in a package that I thought I would want. When I met Emily, it was unlike all my other experiences. She had like a depth and a grace and this quiet strength that I think I always dreamed of, and I just knew." After several years of dating, Justin proposed to Emily in April 2013 at the Blue Jam Cafe, which is the same restaurant where they actually had their very first date. The special moment, which subsequently went viral on YouTube, featured an epic 27-minute video of proposal ideas. The pair wed 3 months later. Now, Justin and Emily went on to welcome daughter Maya and son Maxwell in 2015 and 2017 respectively. Now, in a resurfaced interview from 2 years ago, the It Ends With Us director, who is currently actually being sued by co-star Blake Lively, spoke about the early days of his relationship with Emily, explaining that his instant obsession with the Swedish-born actress nearly destroyed their relationship. According to Baldoni, Emily refers to this time in their relationship as Baldoni's puppy dog phase. He would follow her around at parties, not interested in speaking with anybody else, and while the director thought he was abandoning the rules of masculinity for an earnest approach, he soon realized he was actually suffocating Emily. He said she had never met a guy that was this open and vulnerable, and she had no clue what to do with me. I was suffocating her with my passion and my intensity and my love. It pushed her away, and then I didn't know what to do. After some self-reflection, the Jane the Virgin actor admitted that his intentions were not pure and he was acting extremely codependently. He said in admittance, I was needing her versus wanting her, and she was picking up on that energy. Now, was all of this like a red flag? If it wasn't then, well, this might have been a surefire flag when he gave his vows at their wedding. He began his speech by saying, "I'm sorry for all my faults, my shortcomings, for my insecurities and my ego, and for everything that I've ever done or said that's hurt you, and everything I've ever brought to this relationship that hasn't been pure. But with that apology also comes a promise." He also added, "Emily, for the rest of my life, I will cherish you, I will appreciate you, I will listen to you, I will laugh with you, I will take care of you, I will honor you, and I will respect you." This begs the question though, what faults is he referring to? Also, is his ego that big that he really needed to apologize for it in his wedding vows? So many questions, and in the wake of, his legal battles that he's facing, some answers would maybe give some clarity to the allegations that's made against him currently. Now, forget the vows for a moment, because this proposal video would have been a big enough red flag for me. People on the internet have now unearthed Justin's 27-minute proposal video to his wife, Emily Baldoni, from 2012. Yes, you heard that right, 27 minutes. This thing has lip syncing, flash mobs, fake crime dramas, and enough self-indulgence to make you question if it's like even about Emily at all. Social media detectives wasted no time connecting the dots, wondering if the video was a red flag for, all of the allegations that are being made against him now. And honestly, I don't blame them. Let's go over Justin Baldoni's proposal video, shall we? So if you don't feel like watching the half-hour-long video, I honestly don't blame you. I'll save you the watch. Picture this though. You're meeting your boyfriend for dinner at the spot where you first had your first date. Sounds cute, right? But like, instead of a sweet low-key proposal, he hits you with a feature-length film about himself. The video starts with him pretending to be running late and quickly spirals into a very chaotic montage of like boy band lip syncs, fake radio shows, and a mall flash mob set to Bruno Mars' song Marry You. There's also like a fake crime drama where Justin dramatically runs around with a briefcase, and because he's a man of theatrics, the whole thing ends with him visiting Emily's late father's grave to ask for his permission for her hand in marriage. Because, what's a proposal without some emotional whiplash, right? Am I right? Now fast forward to 2024, and Justin's self-centered energy in that proposal video is aging like milk, because social media is calling it the ultimate red flag, and they are absolutely eating him up. Twitter users, or X, they're also pointing out how the proposal's over-the-top nature feels less like love and more like Justin like auditioning for an Oscar. People are kind of like connecting the dots and using the video as evidence of someone who's narcissistic and could do some of the things that Justin's being accused of doing. Not to ruin the ending or anything, but yeah, of course she said yes, and the two married a few months later in July of 2013. This past summer, Justin's proposal video was reshared on TikTok, with many branding it as the best proposal that they'd ever seen at the time. But now many are looking at the video in a completely different light. Someone on X wrote, "Just saw Justin Baldoni's proposal video and oh man," along with a meme of someone like waving a big red flag. Another person commented saying, "Feeling vindicated because I have always thought Justin Baldoni was sketchy ever since he released that 1 hour long dance mob cringe fest proposal video on YouTube in 2013. Someone else admitted, "I said this when it came out and was told I hate love for thinking it was an unhinged display of narcissism." So whether you're Team Blake or just here to pile on the hate, one thing's clear: Justin might need to take a seat, preferably somewhere very far away from a camera. Now, there's a past infidelity incident that doesn't get talked about, and probably because he knows how it would look to not only the public, but to his wife as well. In an interview, Justin revealed that he had been unfaithful in a past relationship before marrying Emily. And while he has spoken out about learning from his mistakes, the history could definitely raise concerns. Baldoni opened up about feeling conflicted after a toxic relationship he had in college. He said he met a very beautiful young woman at an Abercrombie & Fitch store while attending Long Beach State and fell right into this relationship relationship because he was trying to fill a hole and a void where he just didn't feel like he was enough. He went on to say, it was a very bad relationship and I kind of contorted myself and my personality to be what she wanted. I had strong values and opinions and beliefs going in, and those were very easily manipulated and reshaped to the point where a few months in, I completely lost any sense of self that I had left, and it got very emotionally toxic. Baldoni said after that, he experienced that trauma in that relationship. He then wrestled with that trauma for the rest of his life because in his head, a man can't experience trauma at the hands of a woman. He went on to say, it's also the way that society has kind of made me feel that, it's only the other way around, when in reality, it can happen. Baldoni said acknowledging that a woman could take advantage of him became too much to hold for many, many years, and he finished by saying that relationship ended with cheating and infidelity. It was a terrible, terrible relationship. I left college, I moved to LA, and it was actually thanks to that relationship ending that I ended up becoming an actor. Now, this was quite an interesting conversation considering the theme of his very recent movie, It Ends With Us. It does make you wonder and question the legitimacy. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I also obviously can't say it did with 100% certainty. And it's a lot to think about, right? I mean, regardless, I want to leave you with some food for thought here because although there hasn't been a lot of red flags or warning signs to come out in regards to his marriage with Emily, I want to leave you with some insight and what to keep your eyes open for because these potential red flags could be a big cause for concern. Now, if Justin and Emily have changes in their communication, such as becoming more argumentative or distant, it could be a sign of underlying issues. Now, if the couple stops attending events or posting photos together on social media, that might indicate a growing distance between them. If more rumors or allegations of infidelity were to surface, it could put significant pressure on their relationship. And if Emily were to suddenly reduce her social media presence or stop sharing updates about their life together, it could raise questions about the state of their relationship. So it is important to note that these potential signs don't necessarily mean the couple would be headed for a separation, but it definitely would send alarm bells ringing.
Leaked text messages between actress Blake Lively and actor-director Justin Baldoni offer a glimpse into the inner workings of their crisis management team during a massive lawsuit. One message from Lively reads, "You know we can bury anyone, but I can't write that to him. It will be very tough." This suggests an attempt to influence the situation, potentially by discrediting a key figure, while acknowledging the risks involved. Another message reads, "Imagine if a document saying all the things that he wants ends up in the wrong hands." This highlights concerns about potential leaks and the damaging consequences of sensitive information falling into the wrong hands. A separate text from Justin Baldoni's publicist, Jennifer Abel, reads, "Having reckless thoughts of wanting to plant pieces this week about how horrible Blake is to work with." This reveals a potential strategy to damage Lively's reputation as part of their crisis management efforts. These leaked texts provide evidence of the lengths to which the crisis management team went to shift the narrative and control the public perception of the situation. The Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni lawsuit has escalated, with Lively's team alleging a multi-tiered plan to destroy her reputation. This plan, they claim, was acknowledged by Baldoni's team as social manipulation and was initiated after Lively raised concerns about on-set conditions. Baldoni's crisis team has reportedly named Taylor Swift and her alleged weaponization of feminism as part of this alleged scheme to take down Lively. Leaked text messages, which Lively's team claims were submitted as part of the legal complaint to the California Civil Rights Department. The lawsuit also includes serious allegations against Baldoni, including claims that he entered Lively's trailer while she was undressed and allowed others to watch her. This case has drawn comparisons to the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial due to its high-profile nature, intense public scrutiny, and the serious allegations involved. It's important to note that these are just allegations at this stage. Both sides have vehemently denied the opposing parties' claims. The truth of the matter will ultimately be determined by the courts. Prior to August 2nd, Justin Baldoni hired crisis management expert Melissa Nathan, known for her work with Johnny Depp, to join his public relations team. This team also included publicist Jennifer Abel. Blake Lively's legal team alleges that a critical staff meeting was held on January 4th to address a hostile work environment that nearly halted the film's production. The lawsuit raises questions about the extent to which film production was aware of these concerns and whether they continued production despite them. The meeting reportedly involved Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, CEO of Wayfarer Studios and producer of It Ends With Us, and others. The lawsuit alleges that Justin Baldoni engaged in inappropriate behavior, including showing Blake Lively nude videos and images of other women, discussing his intense adult video addiction, making inappropriate comments about her weight, her late father, and other cast and crew members. The lawsuit alleges that an agreement was made that neither Jamie Heath nor Justin Baldoni would enter or attempt to enter Blake Lively's trailer while she was not wearing clothes. This agreement highlights the seriousness of the alleged inappropriate behavior and raises questions about the awareness of film producers regarding the situation. The lawsuit further alleges an incident where Justin Baldoni, out of character, slowly dragged his lips from her ear to her neck, stating, "It smells so good." When Blake Lively objected, Baldoni allegedly retorted, "I'm not even attracted to you." Following a meeting in January 2024 involving Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, producers, and Ryan Reynolds, Wayfarer Studios reportedly agreed to implement the use of an intimacy coordinator for all scenes involving nudity or simulated adult scenes. Blake Lively's legal team alleges that leaked text messages reveal a smear campaign orchestrated by Justin Baldoni's crisis management team. The messages, included in the legal complaint, allegedly expose a multi-tiered plan described by Baldoni and his team as social manipulation aimed at destroying Blake's reputation. This alleged campaign, according to Lively's team, was initiated after she expressed concerns about on-set conditions. The lawsuit details several production conflicts, including Blake Lively's discomfort with certain scenes, leading her to bring in her own editor during post-production. Her version of the film was ultimately chosen for release. It is reported that some crew members allegedly lost their jobs due to Lively's insistence on creative control. Anticipating potential challenges during the marketing campaign, Wayfarer Studios proactively hired a crisis manager alongside their own representative. This decision was reportedly influenced by Ms. Lively's alleged disruptive behavior during production, including threats to boycott filming and promotion, which posed a risk to the film's success. Furthermore, the lawsuit alleges that Ms. Lively, through her representative Leslie Sloan, who also represents Ryan Reynolds, orchestrated the dissemination of negative and fabricated stories in the media even before the film's marketing campaign began. This prompted Wayfarer Studios to engage a crisis professional to develop internal strategies to address potential negative publicity. A forensic review commissioned by Blake Lively from a brand marketing consultant revealed a significant increase in negative media coverage and online commentary following the film's release, suggesting that efforts to tarnish her public image may have been successful. Here's a rewritten version of the provided text. Blake Lively's career and on-set concerns. Blake Lively boasts a successful career, rising to fame through her role in Gossip Girl. This early success propelled her into a diverse filmography, including The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants and The Town. Beyond acting, she has built multiple businesses, graced numerous magazine covers, and amassed a significant social media following, over 45 million on Instagram. According to her legal complaint, Ms. Lively expressed concerns about Justin Baldoni from the project's outset, specifically objecting to the inclusion of what she deemed gratuitous adult scenes. The film's August 6th premiere coincided with press coverage speculating about behind-the-scenes tensions. A Hollywood Reporter article explored the possibility of a rift between Lively and Baldoni, citing observations from TikTok users regarding the absence of joint photographs and lack of Instagram followership between the two stars and other cast members, Chaw's director. Following the film's release, Blake Lively faced a wave of online criticism. The extent to which this negative publicity was orchestrated by Justin Nathan, Mr. Wallace, and their team, or simply observed and amplified by them, remains unclear. The recent lawsuit allegations against Justin Baldoni have come as a shock to many, given his public advocacy for a re-evaluation of traditional masculinity. Baldoni is the co-host of the Webby Award-nominated podcast Man Enough, alongside writer Liz Plank. The podcast aims to create a safe space for open and honest discussions about masculinity, welcoming diverse perspectives. In a previous Instagram post about an event focused on stopping domestic violence, Baldoni wrote, "My hope is that we can teach our boys, while they are still young, that vulnerability is strength, sensitivity is a superpower, and empathy makes them powerful. Being a boy and a man is amazing, and nothing to apologize for, and to value all the beautiful and complicated parts of them that make them human."
Blake Lively has officially accused her It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni of a pattern of inappropriate behavior amounting to harassment. This isn't a single incident, but a sustained pattern of conduct. Blake Lively also claims Justin Baldoni said he could speak to the dead and talked to her recently deceased dad. Allegations of on-set misconduct have led Blake Lively to sue Justin Baldoni, who both directed and starred opposite her in It Ends With Us. The lawsuit comes after fans observed tension between the two. Lively further alleges a coordinated smear campaign intended to discredit her after she raised concerns about Justin Baldoni's behavior. This suggests an attempt to damage her reputation and undermine her credibility. The formal complaint and lawsuit. Lively has filed a lawsuit. The complaint details the specific instances of alleged harassment and outlines the alleged smear campaign. The nature of the alleged harassment. The text states the alleged harassment crossed professional boundaries and created a hostile work environment on set. The alleged smear campaign, Lively claims. The smear campaign was a deliberate effort to discredit her after she raised concerns. She alleges the campaign involved individuals within or associated with WME, further complicating the situation given the agency's dual representation. This suggests potential internal conflicts and raises questions about who within WME might be involved. The conflict of interest, WME's dual representation. Both Lively and Justin Baldoni are represented by the same talent agency, William Morris Endeavor, WME. This creates a significant conflict of interest. Despite representing both, WME has chosen to continue representing Lively. This is a crucial detail that lends weight to her allegations. It suggests WME has taken her claims seriously and potentially found them credible. WME's stance and its implications. WME's decision to maintain representation of Lively despite also representing Justin Baldoni is significant. This suggests several possibilities. Internal investigation. WME may have conducted an internal investigation and found evidence supporting Lively's claims. Prioritizing protection. It may reflect a broader industry trend of prioritizing the protection of those who report misconduct. Legal considerations. WME may be acting on legal advice to avoid potential liability. Regardless of the specific reasons, WME's decision sends a powerful message that the allegations are being taken seriously. This situation highlights the inherent conflicts of interest that can exist within the entertainment industry, particularly within talent agencies that represent multiple parties involved in disputes. The outcome of this case could influence how similar situations are handled in the future, setting precedents for how agencies address conflicts of interest and how allegations of misconduct are investigated and addressed. In summary, the situation is complex and involves serious allegations of harassment and a subsequent smear campaign, compounded by a significant conflict of interest due to WME's dual representation. WME's decision to stand by Lively is a key indicator of the seriousness of the situation and suggests a potential shift in how such matters are handled within the industry.
There is currently a lot of drama going on with the film It Ends With Us, most specifically with Blake Lively. Now, the internet has begun to turn on her, and here's everything that's happened. So starting off, the book it's based off of has been called problematic for romanticizing sensitive topics like DV. The author, Colleen Hoover, also has some controversies, but besides all of this, the movie was made. Now, Blake Lively stars as the main character Lily Bloom, and she's also a producer on the film. She co-stars with Jason Baldoni, who is also the director of the film. Now, with these two having more control over the project than just acting in it, it's no surprise that there were some altercations. Fans on social media have pointed out that the pair have not appeared together for any press or any photos together. Over the past week, Justin has spoken to Access Hollywood, Today, Entertainment Tonight, and Good Morning America, while Blake has spoken to Vogue, Capital FM, and CBS Mornings. Justin only appeared on the red carpet solo and side by side with his wife Emily and other friends and family at the premiere, but never with Lively or other co-stars. Now, according to Paper Magazine, Justin also allegedly didn't introduce the film ahead of the screening with Blake and Colleen Hoover, despite being the director and star of the film, which is a little strange. Unnamed sources told The Hollywood Reporter there were fractures among the filmmakers in post-production, and that Lively, who was a producer on the film, had commissioned her own cut of the film from editor Shane Reed, who was the editor on her husband Ryan Reynolds' film Deadpool and Wolverine. Another source told The Hollywood Reporter Blake's cut may not indicate a feud, as it's not uncommon for a film to undergo multiple cuts during post-production, and the filmmaking team agreed on the final cut, but who knows what truly happened. Then people got really upset when Blake spoke about how involved her husband Ryan Reynolds was in the film. Blake added her own fuel to the fire when she revealed that her husband wrote part of the rooftop scene in the film. The iconic rooftop scene, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that, but you know, Blake said. Now, apparently this is normal. As Blake said, we help each other all the time. He works on everything I do, I work on everything he does. So his wins, his celebrations are mine and mine are his. Now, multiple unnamed sources told The Hollywood Reporter that Ryan did not write the entire scene, which is a good thing. Now, this could have made Justin upset, and fans seem to speculate that Blake and Ryan may have taken over, effectively stepping on Justin's toes. Now, Blake told Hits Radio UK about one clash she had on set, which she said she is not supposed to be talking about, though she did not specify who it was with, claiming they begged her to remove a Lana Del Rey song from the film. Now, Justin told Elle on Monday that there's always friction that happens when you make a movie like this, but said that friction is what creates the beautiful art. Blake has been called out though about how she's treated the promotion of this film. She's been promoting the film as a rom-com when it covers serious topics. It's a drama and not a rom-com. At the premiere, her husband Ryan attended, but so did his Deadpool 3 co-star Hugh Jackman. A lot of people claimed that it felt like Blake and Ryan were trying to recreate the magic of the Barbie and Oppenheimer movie premieres last summer. But due to the nature of It Ends With Us, it's just not the right thing to do at all. It seemed like all Blake cared about was reaching high numbers at the box office and looking good, not trying to tell the story of a DV victim and bring awareness to the issues in the film. Blake has also been blasted as tone deaf and shallow after she hosted an interview with her It Ends With Us co-stars and failed to discuss the serious message behind the movie. Blake sat down with fellow cast members Jenny Slate and Isabella Ferrer, as well as author Colleen last week to discuss the new flick, and many people were left unimpressed by the lighthearted nature of their conversation. The four women giggled together as they discussed everything from their dream jobs to zodiac signs, but there was no mention of DV during their chat. And social medias were quick to slam them, particularly Blake, who hosted the interview, for partaking in the breezy questionnaire given the serious nature of the film and for failing to speak about the topic. Immediately, outraged viewers flocked to the comment section to criticize them. "I'm very confused, you missed the entire purpose of the movie, I'm sad and disappointed," one person wrote. "Can you please promote it appropriately?" another asked. Now, someone else added, "Blake is only here for the fashion and that's all. She ain't interested in the message this movie brings. Shallow." However, several hours later, Blake took to Instagram to share information about DV, as well as some resources for her followers. She directed her followers to a series of links, which included a phone number for victims of DV, as well as statistics and other information. But that interview wasn't the only time she acted weird during an interview for the film. In a recent Jake's Takes interview hosted by Jake Hamilton, Blake, who appears alongside her co-star Brandon, is asked about how people affected by the movie might approach her in public to discuss some of its themes. If someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? Now, Blake then decided to answer this in what she thought was a funny way, I guess. Blake proceeded to make a joke as she sarcastically questioned, like asking for my address or my phone number or like location share, and she continued to joke but eventually answered more seriously. But that really wasn't the right tone at all. Now, several internet users have been left appalled at Blake's initial dismissive response to Jake's question. Now, while Blake has touched on the movie's darker side occasionally, she has been lighthearted for most of the press tour. For example, she's focused much of her energy on her floral looks, which reference her character's name and profession. She even says in the film's official TikTok account's promotional clip, "Grab your friends, wear your florals," as she encourages people to watch the movie. Which, is that really an appropriate thing to say? No, not really. Then Blake has also been using the film to promote some of her own businesses. She promoted her drinks company, Betty Buzz, and actually unveiled some floral-inspired cocktails for the film. She then created Betty Blooms, a limited series of bouquets housed in Betty Buzz bottles, as a tie-in to her character's love for flowers. Now, she also used the promo to announce her new hair care line. At the premiere of It Ends With Us, fans also accused Blake of promoting her business for personal gain. Now, during the red carpet event, fans noticed that Blake discussed her hairline rather than focusing on conversations surrounding DV awareness. Others also noticed that Blake's Instagram bio is a link to her hair care line's profile, whereas her co-star Justin's is a link to a non-profit organization focused on helping victims of DV. Now, it's just very two different approaches to this, but Blake's is falling short. Norwegian interviewer Kirsty Flaw, who goes by Kirsty, has uploaded her 2016 interview with Blake that was so uncomfortable it made her want to quit her journalism career. Kirsty posted a video simply called "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job" to her popular YouTube channel earlier this week, and viewers have been left horrified by the 4-minute long footage. In the clip, Brooke is promoting the movie Cafe Society and is joined by her co-star Parker Posey. Now, the movie came out in July 2016, and this interview would have taken place at around the same time. That year, Blake had announced her pregnancy at the Met Gala that May, but she appeared to take offense when Kirsty starts the interview by congratulating her on her little bump. "Congrats on your little bump," Blake mockingly retorts to Kirsty, who visibly isn't pregnant. Now, appearing to purposely exclude Kirsty from the conversation, Blake and Parker seem to almost ignore her. It was extremely rude and horrible, and people in the comments called them out. Yeah, this doesn't look good for her at all, and with all this stuff coming out, it's making Blake lose fans.
As It Ends With Us heads towards a promising opening weekend at the box office, the movie is unexpectedly capturing attention on social media, and not all of it is positive. TikTok has been buzzing with rumors about a potential rift between star producer Blake Lively and her co-star Justin Baldoni, who also directed the film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's popular novel. The social media frenzy surrounding It Ends With Us is reminiscent of the online scrutiny seen during the release of films like Don't Worry Darling, remember the infamous Spitgate, or even Madam Web. Fans and followers are dissecting the movie's press appearances with the dedication of a secret spy. Sources have informed The Hollywood Reporter that tensions arose during the post-production phase, leading to the creation of 2 different cuts of the movie. The TikTok investigation into It Ends With Us kicked off when fans noticed Baldoni's conspicuous absence from joint promotional events, the lack of photos featuring both Lively and Baldoni at the New York premiere, and the fact that neither Lively, Hoover, nor other cast members follow Baldoni on Instagram, though he does follow them. This raised eyebrows, especially since Hoover and Baldoni had previously appeared together on each other's Instagram accounts during the movie's development. Social media users also began speculating that Lively enlisted her husband, Ryan Reynolds, to take control of the film's creative direction. This theory gained traction when Lively revealed at the world premiere that Reynolds had written a key rooftop scene early in the movie. Quote, "We help each other. He works on everything I do, I work on everything he does. So his wins, his celebrations are mine, and mine are his," she explained. The film's script was penned by Christy Hall. According to multiple insiders, while Reynolds did contribute significant dialogue for the scene, he, of course, did not write the entire thing. Beyond that, Reynolds had little time to focus on his wife's film as he was deeply immersed in working with director Sean Levy on Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine has been one of the most talked about films in recent years, bringing together 2 of the most beloved characters from the Marvel Universe. viewers. The film, a sequel in the wildly successful Deadpool franchise, features Reynolds reprising his role as the wisecracking, fourth-wall-breaking anti-hero, while Hugh Jackman returned as Wolverine, much to the delight of fans. The chemistry between Reynolds and Jackman, both on and off screen, has been a major selling point, contributing to the film's massive box office success and critical acclaim. Blake Lively herself had a highly anticipated and rumored role in the movie, and although her face was never revealed in the film, she did have a few speaking lines as she played the character of Ladypool. Ryan and Blake weren't the only members of the Reynolds family seen in the Deadpool cast, however. Lively and Reynolds are parents to 4 children, daughters James, Inez, and Betty, and a son named Olin. 3 of them make appearances in the movie. In Deadpool and Wolverine, Ladypool has a baby, fittingly named Babypool, portrayed by the couple's youngest child, Olin. Inez takes on the role of Kidpool and even has a speaking line. Their eldest daughter, 9-year-old James, also makes a brief appearance as a screaming mutant. This is all to say this has clearly been an exceptionally busy year for the Reynolds family. With Deadpool and Wolverine enjoying tremendous success, it's easy to see why Reynolds was so focused on this project, leaving limited time to dedicate to It Ends With Us. She reportedly had enough influence to commission her own version of the movie. Multiple sources revealed that Lively requested a cut of the movie from editor Shane Reed, who also worked on Deadpool and Wolverine, and edited the Lively directed music video for Taylor Swift's I Bet You Think About Me. It remains unclear if any part of this cut made it into the final version, which was credited to editors Una Flaherty and Rob Sullivan. One insider downplayed the rumors of conflict, noting that it's not uncommon for multiple versions of a film to emerge during post-production, and the team ultimately agreed on the final cut. Representatives for Lively and Baldoni have not responded to requests for comment. Baldoni has acknowledged Lively's creative contributions in interviews, but has not commented on the alleged competing cuts of the movie. He did mention stepping back at times to let the women on set take the lead, as the film centers around a woman's perspective and addresses the sensitive topic of domestic violence. Hoover has published a sequel, the 2022 novel It Starts With Us. Baldoni has not committed to directing another film in the franchise, although his character plays a key role in the sequel. It remains unclear whether the studio will be able to bring the team back together for another installment. In the end, the buzz surrounding It Ends With Us might fade once the film hits theaters, but unlike Don't Worry Darling and Madam Web, it's expected to be a financial success, projected to earn $23 million or more during its opening weekend, a solid result for a movie with a $25 million budget. And if pre-sales are any indication, that number could definitely climb even higher. In the world of Colleen Hoover film adaptations, It Ends With Us isn't the only movie on the docket. Verity marks the 3rd adaptation of a Colleen Hoover novel. The first was Confess, a romance novel published in 2015, which became a TV series in 2017. The series aired for 1 season on Go 90 and consisted of 7 episodes, starring Katie Leclerc and Ryan Cooper. The second adaptation, obviously, is It Ends With Us, which premiered in theaters on August 9th. While many details about Verity are still unknown, it remains one of Hoover's most popular books, with over 1 million copies sold and frequent appearances on bestseller lists. This highly anticipated adaptation is unlikely to keep us waiting for too long. Verity has already become one of the most eagerly awaited adaptations, even though filming hasn't even started yet. Since this bestseller is still in the early stages of development, details are limited. However, there are a few things that we do know about the upcoming Colleen Hoover adaptation. At this moment in time, Verity does not have a release date. Since production hasn't begun, it's unclear whether the film will be released in a few years or much further down the line. The earliest we might see Verity in theaters is likely 2025 or 2026. The production team may wait to see how the movie adaptation of It Ends With Us performs at the box office. If it's a big hit, they might expedite production to capitalize on that success. The It Ends With Us trailer garnered over 128 million views in the first 24 hours hours, which definitely bodes well for its box office potential. Verity shares similarities with films like Gone Girl, A Simple Favor, Rebecca, and Vertigo, creating a sense of distrust between the viewer and the characters. If the film leans into these elements, it could become a very gripping thriller with plenty of twists and turns. The story follows Lowen Ashley, a writer struggling in her career who gets a life-changing opportunity to ghostwrite for a best-selling author. After a car accident leaves Verity Crawford in a coma, Lowen moves into her home and begins to grow close to Verity's husband, Jeremy. As she settles in, Lowen uncovers dark secrets that blur the lines between truth and fiction. The narrative toys with the reader's sense of reality, and the film could explore whether Lowen's imagination is at play or if there's something more sinister going on. The book's intriguing storyline already has a very cinematic feel, which should make the transition to the screen even smoother. Hilary Seitz is currently set to write the Verity screenplay. Her previous work includes Christopher Nolan's Insomnia, Eagle Eye, and the recent Sandra Bullock and Viola Davis film The Unforgivable, which also featured a very thought-provoking ending. Although we know Verity is in the works, many details remain under wraps. It's difficult to predict the cast for Verity due to the film's very high potential. Casting news for these characters will likely spark discussions similar to the buzz surrounding Blake Lively's casting in It Ends With Us.
Celebrities refuse to work with Blake Lively. Of course, we're starting with Justin Baldoni. How could we not? The It Ends With Us drama is the hottest topic right now. Justin, if you didn't know, is starring opposite Lively in the new movie It Ends With Us. He also directed it. It's based on the book by Colleen Hoover. It's a highly controversial novel that has turned into a highly controversial movie because it deals with very serious themes in a sometimes unserious way. That's the barest bones of the situations, but let's get into it. During a red carpet interview for the movie, Justin implied that he was not looking to work with Lively again. He was asked by the interviewer if he were interested in directing a sequel should the movie get one. He responded, "I think there are better people for that one. I think Blake Lively is ready to direct, that's what I think." This raised a lot of eyebrows, many wondering if there were some creative disagreements on set between the two. This appears to have been kind of confirmed when a video taken of the pair allegedly fighting on set emerged. No one knows what their disagreement would have been about, but they didn't look happy. Press for the film has also looked a little odd. Justin, for the most part, has been doing his press alone, whereas Lively will often be surrounded by other cast members, and the same is true for red carpets. In fact, Justin barely took any pictures with his co-stars on those red carpets. People have also noticed the cast and the author of the book do not follow Justin back on Instagram. In an incredibly shocking turn of events, The Hollywood Reporter wrote that there was a fracture among filmmakers in the post-production process, wherein two different cuts of the movie emerged. So they are saying that there is a Blake version of the movie and a Justin version of the movie. The public is taking sides. Some find the fact that the entire movie is distancing from Justin to be suspicious, so they're rallying behind Blake. Others are criticizing the way Blake is conducting herself on the press tour, accusing the actress of downplaying the mature themes of the movie, trying to make it sound more lighthearted than it is, alternatively praising Justin for talking about the mature themes and bringing awareness to them. This is a developing celebrity story, so let us know what you think about it. Armie Hammer is not Blake Lively's biggest fan since she allegedly got him fired from Gossip Girl. At least that's what he makes it sound like. Hammer was asked to name the biggest diva on Gossip Girl. Of course, he couldn't outright name drop anyone, but he did say that it was his love interest on the show. Hammer was only on Gossip Girl for a few episodes and played Serena's, Blake Lively's, love interest, so clearly he was talking about Lively. He further shared that he was supposed to be in more episodes than what he filmed, but the ones he did film were really tough, also hinting that they were difficult because of Lively. In her defense with this one, it took a couple years, but we all found out that Hammer has his own stuff to worry about. Maybe Blake got a weird vibe early on. For anyone, staring at the screen confused about what all that meant, Armie Hammer was accused of being the type of person that enjoys people as a meal, so not a good person at all. Maybe Blake Lively wasn't easy to work with on the set like Hammer is saying, but as we all found out years down the road, he's got his own weird personal stuff going on too. Reporter Kirsty Flaw has unexpectedly caused a wave of backlash against
against Blake Lively recently, footage from a 2016 interview Lively did to promote the movie Cafe Society has resurfaced, and it paints her in a pretty negative light. One moment in particular has everyone buzzing. At this point in time, when the interview happens, Lively is pregnant. So the interviewer says, "Congratulations on your little bump." Lively responds with, "Congratulations on your little bump." The reporter was not pregnant. People are saying that this comment was an extremely rude thing to say to someone who was simply expressing congratulations. It makes the rest of the interview look worse, as Lively does not interact with the reporter as much as she does as her co-star. It's clear that this celebrity-reporter pairing will probably never happen again. Gossip Girl gave us the iconic best friends Serena and Blair, but in real life, the actresses seem to be anything but. Throughout the run of the show, Blake Lively and Leighton Meester were rumored to be feuding, and the rumors might have been true. The New York Magazine reported that the two girls avoided each other like the plague while on set. The publicity surrounding this eventually got so bad, Lively's publicist felt they had to release a statement saying Blake and Leighton have never been best friends and never professed to be. Blake goes to work, does her job, and goes home. Unfortunately, the statement only added more fuel to the fire at the time. We got an honest answer from Joshua Safran, Gossip Girl's executive producer. He said, Blake and Leighton were not friends. They were friendly, but they were not friends like Serena and Blair. Yet, the second they'd be on set together, it's as if they were. Basically, the girls were not like buddies, but they were such good actresses, you would never know. Blake's once shared in an interview that the Gossip Girl higher-ups actively encouraged the cast to act like their characters, wear the clothes, actually be friends, and even date each other. According to Blake, they wanted this because then it fed the whole narrative people could buy into the world. Despite their best efforts, it seems the two never got on in real life as well as they did on the show. Anna Kendrick starred opposite Lively in the movie A Simple Favor, but the press tour left people more confused than anything else. People couldn't figure out how the two women really felt about the other. Both have excellent senses of humor, but often dry senses of humor, the kind where you can't really tell if they're joking at first sometimes. So throughout the press tour for the film, the pair were faced with article after article about their alleged feud. If the articles are to be believed, tension was building as early as 1 month into filming. Right around then is when In Touch Weekly reported that Kendrick made fun of Taylor Swift, one of Lively's close friends, and that allegedly caused an issue. The press tour featured instances where the pair would seemingly stand quite far apart, or once Anna Kendrick whispered at Lively to not touch her, or just like little comments directed at the other. They could have just been joking around with each other. New info about this whole situation was still coming out even years after it happened. The podcast Celebrity Memoirs Book Club claims that by the end of shooting the movie, the two actresses wouldn't speak to each other, to the point where the studio allegedly had to have a chat with the actresses to tell them to at least pretend to like each other because it was starting to get obvious that they didn't. The source also alleged that Kendrick was quite competitive, particularly towards Lively, even going so far as to ask for more promotion for the film. It's unclear how much of this is true. People are eyeing the source with suspicion now, especially since the two women have agreed to return for a second movie. A Simple Favor 2 is set to release in 2025, so we have about a year until the next press tour and the rumors start all over again. Blake Lively really does have bad luck with the press though. American journalist Katie Weaver has got quite the one-sided feud with Lively. It's been over a decade of the journalist calling Lively out on the internet, particularly on the social media site X. She has made it very clear that she would never want to work with Lively personally and has made it her life's mission to remind everyone of where Lively and Ryan Reynolds got married. This is probably the couple's biggest controversy. They had their wedding ceremony in the South at a place that used to be a plantation. The property, it's nice, but no matter how pretty you can make the area look, that doesn't erase the horrible history of the space. People were quick to call out the couple for choosing the venue. They are rich. They could have picked literally anywhere else. Blake and Ryan did end up actually issuing an apology. In case you were wondering, Weaver has yet to say anything regarding the It Ends With Us drama, much to her followers' disappointment. The soulmates of Hollywood, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, actually met when they were both in committed relationships. Blake was dating Penn Badgley and Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson. In 2010, the pair played love interests in Green Lantern, then later that year they both ended their respective relationships. The pair ended up casually dating around, even once going on a double date, but not on each other's arm, despite being broken up. When Lively and Reynolds officially got together shortly after that double date, celebrity news sites started reporting that Ryan's ex-wife, Scarlett Johansson, was not happy about their pairing. A source spoke to Us Weekly, claiming that Johansson was angry Ryan had moved on. And finally, despite both women being best friends with Taylor Swift, there are plenty of rumors circulating that Selena Gomez and Blake Lively can't stand each other. After Taylor showed up up to the Super Bowl with a celebrity-filled box, people wondered where her best friend Selena Gomez was. Insiders close to the stars claim that Lively, who was at the event, and Gomez just don't mix, so they tend to avoid each other. People quickly started doing the research, searching for any photos of the two women side by side at any of Taylor's numerous events over the years, and almost nothing was found. There was one instance where the two were both at the Saturday Night Live party in November of 2021, but no pictures are there of them together. It's a truly bizarre situation that I'm surprised hasn't been picked up by the masses yet. But what do you think? Let us know. Bye!